Right, and Cody, you. And this is it. And I was going to ask this, and I'm glad Cody put it in there. This is for you, Shushu. What do you think it is? You know, Cody is saying you already have more equal opportunity than and extra privileges. What would you say to that bullet point? You know, women are like, well, feminism is about equal opportunity and this and that. Well, you know, what's your take on that?
Because if we were real, what it is like we have made some strides, we've made some advances, but it's not really 100% equal playing field. It's just not. Like, women are still paid different salaries than a man who is in the same position she's in. Like, it's still uneven. It still is.
Is it uneven to the degree it was in 1940s and 50s and 60s? Would you say, has it gotten better? Has it gotten worse? Has it stayed the same?
No, it's not to that degree anymore. It's gotten a lot better.
It's gotten a lot better. And would you say that? And I'm sure you've seen all of the Jordan Peterson talk and stuff like that, but wouldn't you also agree a little bit? I'm not saying for all, but for a little bit, that when we talk about the pay gap, that the pay gap really isn't because of gender, and it might be more because of choice.
What you mean?
I choose to be a school teacher with $300,000 worth of debt because I went to Harvard, as opposed to being an engineer. Therefore, I make less than that dude over there. And then people say, well, you still make less than the school teacher who's with you. Yeah, but the school teacher who's with me, the guy that's got school teacher over there.
I'm not talking about like that. I'm talking about like, okay, if I'm a school teacher, like I'm a professor. You know what I mean? Like I'm like
equally yoked with the male professor.
Equally low. You got another male professor in the same position,
same experience.
Same experience. His salary is more than mine. Still.
Why would you? His salary is more. Are you saying that it would be impossible for you to negotiate a salary that's on par with or better than his?
Like, listen, you can still negotiate, but they still gonna spit bullshit at you.
But
oh yeah, well, they're gonna find some reason not to give it to you.
And they're gonna spit bullshit at me too, right? I'm the other guy. I'm the guy that got the raise, right? I'm the professional that got it. They're gonna spit bullshit at me too. And guess what? I'm gonna walk. Right. And this is where I am with it. I agree. I agree that yes, you can find this disparity in pay, that there is a pay gap, but the pay gap isn't solely based on gender. I think the pay gap is more of certain people being more agreeable and, you know, well, they ain't gonna give it to me, so I'm just gonna have to take it. I got hired as an air traffic controller into a place where no one wanted me there. No one wanted me there. They were telling me, you should be here, you should be this, you should be that. Did I leave? Hell no.
Right.
You ain't get me out of here. I ain't even got a car. I just moved across the country from Cincinnati to LA. I don't even have a place to live. I'm staying in a rat-infested 304 lodge over here, this hotel over here. Not only am I not leaving, but you are going to pay me, not the base. You're going to pay me more than the base. But there are a lot of females who will be like, okay, I guess I better go over there.
Well, I mean, I can't agree to that because a lot of women just don't know how to negotiate.
Okay, and it could be that as well.
A lot of it is just that a lot of women just don't really know how to, because nobody really teaches you. Nobody teaches women how to do that. They teach you how to get what you want out of a man from like a sexual perspective, like in a relationship wise, but nobody teaches you how to negotiate business wise.
And I think that I would argue that maybe taught or just part of our programming, women are more accepting than men are. And I would argue that would be more of the reason for that little bit of a pay gap, more than just based on gender. And I think we're kind of close on that. And Brother Jose was saying that like feminism is not right. They don't stand for equal rights, which I agree. Let me ask you this question. And then I'm gonna give you the floor. I'm gonna let you cook because I don't want, you know what I mean? Because you're not the type of woman that I'm talking about. I know, because you're in the business you in and what you got to do. You're gonna be like, hold on now. Right. You know what I mean? Hold on now. You know what I mean? Right. So and I lost my train of thought for a moment, but the thing is this. Damn, I lost it.
I hate being old. You were talking about the pay gap and women being more agreeable and
Oh yeah, and I would say that the young women and young boys are kind of raised different, and we are different as men and women. And I just think that women are more agreeable, and boys are less agreeable. And I think that there are women out there who will push to get that extra bread. I know them. I know women out there who are killing it, and there's no one that's gonna out earn them because they are the top earners. They are the hardest workers. So. Right. And I was going to ask you that, and it was something that Myron Gaines used to say all the time. It'll come back to me, and that's what I wanted to get to. But when it comes to rights and privileges, got it. I'm with you now. I'm with it. Got it. Rights and privileges. I would argue that in America, women have more rights and more privileges than men do today. Would you agree with that or no?
Yes and no. And I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
We have more rights in terms of like family court. We have more rights in terms of like family, like, you know, marriage and stuff like that, like laws and stuff like that in the courtroom. As far as everything else,
reproduction rights.
Reproductive rights. But as far as everything else, no. Reason being is because men still run everything. Like, yes, there are women who are successful in corporate America. There are women who are CEOs. But when you look at the percentage of women who are CEOs versus the men and who the overall total collective who make up CEOs, it's maybe 2%. Everybody else is men. Who are the lawmakers? Yes, you have women in Congress. Yes, you have women who are, you know, in politics and stuff like that. But if you look at collectively, the overall majority is men. Men still make the laws. Men still run everything. So the idea that men get so upset because a woman got a right to something, like, what do you mean? Y'all still run this. But I mean, because yes, women may have more favor in family law or family court, and the only reason why that still is because those laws are still based upon a time when women were required to be in the home and they didn't make money to survive, enough money to survive on their own. Those laws are still set according to that economy and according to that period of time. It's just that the laws need to be updated. That's the problem. And guess who can do that? Y'all, because y'all run this.
My only pushback to that is women vote more than men. Women are more involved in the political process than men at all levels, from the national level all the way down to the school board. So while I agree on some level that, yeah, if men would decide to get off their asses and really, you know, really do some stuff, we could make some changes. Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. Do I agree with, okay, well, men run the world. Okay, I would even concede that. But they are, in my opinion, just puppets, because most of those dudes are white knights and or simpletons that are controlled by a woman. So I would say then in that instance, you know, like on the individual level, I would disagree that men run the world, because there's going to be a woman who's telling that guy what to do. And if it comes down to a vote that comes down to one dude who's handpicked by some woman, be it his wife, his sister, his mother, his aunt, whatever, she is going to have him vote for the feminine or whatever that dynamic is. So and then like, again, when I hear this argument, my biggest argument when it comes to feminism, right, and it comes to choice, like, you know, reproductive rights. And like you said, family court, and you agreed. You was like, yeah, man, it's definitely it's skewed in there. So it's like there's no fight to be had. You're like, yeah, you're right, it's skewed in there. But if feminists were really about equality, like the whole thing started from the beginning, when, you know, feminism came about because they wanted to free the slaves. If it was really about equality, then feminists will be there at any kind of injustice anywhere within the system. And they were like, you know what I mean? And it would be, I think it would be a fight for equal access, not equal outcome. You know what I mean? Like, and I would do that. Now I'm not as hardcore as a lot of guys in the manosphere and, you know, that red pill world on this. But when it comes to that, I was like, well, look, we can't guarantee you a result, but we can guarantee you access. You know, that's why I'm so against what the Supreme Court did with, you know, removing affirmative action from the you know, the higher education world. That law should stay on the books long after it's no longer needed. Right? You know what I mean? Long after. So that's my point there. And I know some stuff in the chat. We got Brother Jose with the $5.
Yeah, I do want to respond to a couple of things.
Oh, go ahead.
When it comes to, you talk about in politics, like, yes, women vote more, and you were saying that you know, you still have men who are puppeteers for, you know, there's women behind the scenes pulling the strings. That's not necessarily. Some of them probably so, I wouldn't doubt it, but not all of them. Because the thing you have to understand is, in politics, it's just politics. That's just that politics. It's chess, not checkers. If they know women are the ones who vote more, yeah, they're going to, you know, finagle or like finesse them more. They're going to acquiesce to who votes. So if men really are, you know, upset about this and they feeling some type of way about, you know, the laws and stuff like that, then y'all got to get off your ass and vote, because the politicians are their goal is to get in the office and to keep their seat. So whoever is out there voting, that's who they're catering to.
Yes.
So, you know, that in itself is something that y'all have to step up and change. Like, that's not women's fault.
Agree. And I didn't say that to say that it was women's fault. I'm just saying, you know, big up to the women, because they're out there actually getting out there. People get mad where they all these set asides for women. Like, well, they're out there voting. If you want to get that vote, these politicians are going to have to do these things that they said they did. We're going to do, and women going to make you do it. You know what I mean? Whereas guys are just kind of like, whatever. You know what I mean? Guys should get out there and vote, especially these young incel dudes. They should be voting for our initiative to get the 304 army off the ground so they can make sure they get some.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? Help us help you. You know what I mean?
Please. You know what I mean? You gotta give me one of them, the hell. You gotta give me one of them, the hell. Like, how come you ain't voting for this? The hell?
The hell? Something else I wanted to comment on too, when you were talking about with feminism, like the feminists, how they don't, like, if it was really about equality, why they wouldn't be fighting for equality, you know, in other areas and other realms. Well, this is the thing, it's called feminism. They're fighting for equality for women. You know what I mean? So
my pushback to that is my pushback is going back to the original feminists. The original feminists were doing what? Abolitionist work, trying to free the slaves. But that's my only pushback for that. But continue. That was first wave. Now we're talking about second, third wave.
That's true. But so that's what it is. And because righteously, it wouldn't make, and you got to hear me out. Why do I have to push for equality for you when y'all run everything? Y'all run everything.
I'm with you 100%. When this whole Roe v. Wade thing came out, when Roe v. Wade came out, why do you want me to help you? I got no dog in this fight. I don't have any reproductive rights. So why should I care? Same thing.
This is why you should care, because no. And listen, this is why you should care. I'm serious, because all in family court and in child support, when you come to rule in child support, all the laws are in my favor. So you do need to be speaking up.
Well,
when it comes to issues like that.
Yes. So if we were having this conversation, I would say, I tell you what, I represent 75% of men out there, and my men are ready to vote and get out there and whatever. So if you want us to back you on this Roe v. Wade thing, we need you to back us on this law that guarantees men get 50% custody of their children unless they're weirdos or whatever. Like, they get 50% of their custody, and men have an option. Men can have another. We're not pushing for women to be forced to do anything. It's their body, it's their choice. But we want the our wallet, our choice option on the books, this law. And if you guys are cool with those two things, we got you. We'll go ahead and get Roe v. Wade back on the books from sea to shining sea. That's what I would do.
Well, I mean, that's a negotiation, though.
That's politics.
Exactly.
It's politics.
Exactly.
And that's us being
I'm not against that. I'm not against that.
Because it makes sense. And that's us not being agreeable.
Right.
But I might get a woman who's maybe not as savvy and hardworking as you. Like, they ain't been in the trenches like you and I've been in the trenches. She might come in there and be like, if we just came in there and said, no, we need you to, we're going to leave Roe v. Wade like that. And you're going to back this, that, and the other. So we basically going to try to force her into a situation. And because she's agreeable, she'll be like, okay.
Right.
That's my point. And it's those women who make a lot less. I'm not saying there's not a pay gap. I'm not saying that.
Right.
Right. The numbers bear that out. There absolutely is. I'm simply saying the reasons for the pay gap may be different than the narrative that's being pushed. And I had to say that because I know Miss Glow Girl's in the house and I know she gonna get my ass. But I already know it. I already know that's my favorite sailor. I already know she coming. She coming for my neck, bro. You know, man, I'm gonna have to get me a suit of armor. Put the thing down like, oh shit, she coming for me. Yeah, but Brother Jose with the $5 super chat, man. I appreciate that, brother.
Yeah,
$5 super chat, no message super chat, just showing support, bro. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you, bro, so much. You know what I mean? And Brother Cody, everybody have to what they say. They got to say what they got to say. I'm going to show every chat, but we're not going to be able to read them all, y'all, because we're already falling behind on time because we're having so much fun. Told you. Look who this is. Look what it is. Told you.
Okay.
Told you. Miss Globe Girl's in the building.
Okay.
Told you, research before we start talking stupid about equal pay for equal work. I told you she was in the building. I ain't had to look. I knew she was in the building.
Right.
That's my people. That's my people. And I got so much respect.